Welcome back to Sportsmanlike Conduct Podcast. I'm your host, Cassius Clee, and we are back in the studios of Industry City, Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Big Chris.
Yes, sir.
Shame on
What's
you.
going on?
Who you got over there, bro?
Let's see who's in here now. Like I said, people is jumping in. We got John Mayet, Noni. Who else? That's an Arabic. I don't know what that is.
Come on, you
DJ Danny D8.
Danny D8.
Yeah.
Hope they stay tuned for this topic. It's very controversial right now.
Yeah.
Brother O, what's happening?
Yo, I'm here, man.
Rudeness.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash all the buttons one time. Scene
Yes,
and
sir.
Seco.
Dirk Dash. Big Joe. Now, what's going on right now? There's a lot of controversy with these high-profile athletes and child support, right? Got Ant-Man. A lot of things going on with him. You got Jimmy Butler. He's being challenged to pay more child support. Allegedly. This is all in the news.
Yeah.
Rudeness.
Yeah.
As someone who pays child support, I want to start with you,
Okay.
right?
Wait, hold on. None of your baby moms go back. No, he don't in the comments.
We'll see, kid. Like, share, subscribe.
Leave it in the comments. Rudy's inbox only.
Like, share, subscribe.
Nah, but this is personal for somebody like you. But
Okay.
these athletes, right? Obviously, they have the money. They could write a check, blank check, take care of numerous amount of kids that they have, right? But I think the average person, average male worker, it really causes a strain on them financially, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you see somebody like Ant-Man, right? His thing was, which was going on in the news, he's just writing blank checks. Like, yo, how much?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, right? Jimmy Butler. Yeah, his children's mother wants the child support raised from 55 to 65 or something like that.
1,000 a month.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 65,000 a month. Now, in my life, right, I made it a way so that I don't have to pay child support, right? But I don't know I'll be honest, I don't know what my life would be if I was 25 with $200 million. I gotta be honest, right? I don't know if that would keep me in check at that time. I'm thinking as a 25-year-old male with millions of dollars, I'm not sure, but thank God we don't have to deal with that. But somebody who deals with child support, what do you think about these athletes and how do you interject yourself in this equation?
I think if the average NBA player knew the history behind child support and actually what it's supposed to do,
Right.
they would be more upset in terms of the amounts that they're paying. Child support is a program it's like a sub program from like Social Security, and it was designed for single mothers with children that were on the welfare system. So if they had public assistance and there was no male in the household, they would be eligible to receive funds from the government, whether it be, I think, local government. And that's all it was designed for. It wasn't designed to start taking money from the father if he established wealth and all that, and stuff like that. It was just designed to keep the mother and her child from going from poverty. And that's the whole basis of the program. But through the years, it started evolving when the state started recognizing that they can make money off of the father. They started going into like other payment brackets to so that they can get more money from the non-custodial parent, because sometimes it works. It's not always about the male paying child support. Sometimes there are women also paying child support as well. But it went from being a funded program for a child that's in need to a program where like everybody can pretty much, if you sign up for this program, you could benefit from it.
All right. Big Chris.
Yes. So basically, looking up, doing the research on here, you're correct in how you're saying it, but basically what the government did was they stepped in. So I'm gonna just read this quick passage here. And it says the federal government formally, this is from 1975, it says the federal government formally entered the child support space. It says the Office of Child Support Enforcement was created under the Department of Health and Human Services. And this was largely a response to the rise in welfare costs. So basically there was, because back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, it was a single family income. And then back then, there was no cell phones. There was no, so when a man said, listen, I'm going out to get a pack of cigarettes or a loaf of bread, and then they never came back, that was it. Now they became now you had a woman that was in a household that had no source of income. She had no training, because back then, a man married a woman, he took care of her. It was most families with single income. So when that man left and like you said, back then, you could go and change. You could move from New York to New Mexico and change your name to Juan Perez, and just go get a new driver's license. Everything wasn't tracked across cross country. You could become a whole different person, and they had no way of going and getting any money from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, basically, what they did was they said, okay, this was largely a response to a rise in welfare costs, especially from single mothers on aid to families with dependent children. And so the idea was non-custodial parents should help reimburse the government for welfare payments. So they figured they could reach into your pockets and get the money back that they were given for welfare to help support your kids.
Yeah.
Because dudes at that point, before 1975, apparently, there was no child support payments. So once they left, they was just gone. And if they gave anything, it was voluntarily. And it's like, it goes like, even back in the 70s, there was a movie called Claudine. You remember that movie, Claudine?
Yeah.
And I remember she was getting welfare. And then the welfare woman would come. The social worker would come and inspect the house. And James Earl Jones was the boyfriend. They used to have to usher him out. Like, they used to hide any signs of him to show that there wasn't a man in the house, so that they can continue to get the welfare. Otherwise,
they'll cut them off.
Call
off your services.
So
That's how they get black men out of the house, man. That's crazy.
well, I'm saying,
men,
like I
period.
said,
I shouldn't just say black men.
If these
Men,
NBA
period.
players knew the history of that, then it wouldn't be so as simple as just them wanting to write a check or just pay, or even be even more responsible and be careful with the women that you sleep with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bigger responsibility that they need to understand, because these are the ramifications of it.
But I saw a clip of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never even thought about it this way. And it was a female who said this. The dude posed a question if, you think child support or choice with men and this and that is fair. And she said no. It's like, okay, why is she saying no? She's saying women have the choice whether to have the baby or not. And we have no say whatsoever when that happens. So if us being men say we don't want anything to do with the child, or we don't want this child, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We have no rights, no say-so when it comes to women. And not that I agree with it, this and that, but it just made me look at it a little differently. Because we really have, as men, I mean, we're all men here. AJ's not here to debunk what I'm saying, but what I'm saying, we have no choice in the matter. And if a woman gets pregnant, she has the ultimate choice of what she wants to do.
Right.
So we're screwed if we don't want the baby. And she's like, well, I'm going to have the baby. And then now we're responsible when we don't want to be responsible. But if a woman doesn't want to be responsible for the baby, she can go and not have the baby.
But that's why we got to put the condom on, though.
Yeah.
No.
You got to put the condom on. That's our responsibility.
But I said it's not that simple.
That opens a whole nother can of worms that you're talking about, though, because listen, let's be realistic. That's part of the case sometimes. But a lot of the cases sometimes is the dude is right there the whole time.
Yeah.
He's right there throughout the pregnancy. And then once he decides they're splitting up, then he's leaving or whatever, then that it turns into a whole nother issue. Now, if it's a matter of, I'm pregnant, I'm going to have the baby, and you're saying I want nothing to do with it, 9 times out of 10 that ends up in paternity court. Because now she's got to prove that you were the father, and then prove, and now that's a whole nother case. But if a dude is there and then you leave, whether be it by divorce or just you were never married, then you got to take care of your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's case by case basis, right?
Yeah. But now when we start talking about NBA players, it turns into a situation of, does that child need $18,000 a month child support? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it becomes a case of, now you got to give the life that you live, and you got to make that same type of life for your child.
But is it for the child, right? They say is the woman wants to keep up the same lifestyle that she had with said NBA superstar athlete.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not actually for the child.
No. You think, listen, like Steven Jackson was saying, he's on his podcast, he said he was paying $18,500 a month child support for one child.
And
now,
like
you're
7
telling
kids.
me that woman, that every penny of that 18.5 is going to that child? Come on now. Even if this woman went and bought a house in an expensive area, even if her mortgage was say $7,000-$8,000 a month, that's still $10,000. Okay, now you put the kid in private school. That's say $20,000 for the year, $30,000 for the year. Where's all that extra money? You know what I'm saying?
Food, they eat a lot. Kids eat a lot.
Nigga not eating that much food.
You have something more you want to add to that?
No. Well, not more to that per se, but we talking about Ant-Man or Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Like Jimmy Butler has his
3 kids.
Yeah, he has 3 kids, and right now he's paying $55,000 a month. And she's asking for $10,000 a month more, allegedly, reports that I've read. I don't know how true it is.
Right.
But
55.
do you know what $55,000
What is
a
that?
month?
What does that total out to?
That's
Please tell me.
$660,000 a year.
Come on now. What child needs that?
Child support is not taxable, by the way.
Yeah. So she's getting that off the rip for the kid. Listen, that's what you want to pay? I mean, that's what they order you to pay. You pay your NBA player, you're making a lot of money.
I'm like this, man.
But $660,000 a year?
That's ridiculous.
That's the price, though, God.
Is it?
Yes.
I believe it should be 1 cent price, yo.
No,
It should be flat rate.
No,
it shouldn't be any rate.
Like, if I was, I'm not, just whatever. I don't want to keep using these cats' names, but just say I was Jimmy Butler, right? I'm giving her the extra 10, bro. But here's what I got to do, though. I got to say, we got to put in writing that this is it, though. Right? If I give you the extra 10,
it's not gonna happen.
They can't.
Right?
They don't have. They don't have
back.
to sign like, because guess what? The cost of living can go up for them the year after you sign the contract.
so how many years can it get readjusted?
It goes by.
It supposedly goes by your income.
Yeah.
By
So
the
when your
man's
income goes up,
Yeah.
you can get it readjusted?
or like if it goes up or go down, you could get it readjusted.
Yeah, because the man
Up
could
and
go
down.
back and be like, listen, I don't make this much
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And then they go.
Can you drop it down?
Whatever.
I mean,
And
if
when
I got
they get
Jimmy
older,
Butler kind
too.
of money,
When they get older
I'm
too,
just giving them
sometimes they
extra
can
10,
go
man.
up and down.
When they get older, I figure it will go down.
Yeah, because they don't need less. They need.
Yeah, they don't need.
You would
But
think.
Child care, yeah, you
this
would
is the
think,
point
but yeah.
this is the point where people miss though. The whole program was designed based on the child needs
Right.
to keep the child and the mother from going through poverty. If they're not in poverty, if they're not poverty bound, then there's no need for all these excessive amount of money.
Hey,
That's what the program
We
is
live in one of the
designed
worst
for.
states for child support.
I'll say right here, look, in New York, bro, child support is calculated using a percentage of the parent's combined income. Right? So based on the number of children, the percentage is 17% for one child 25% for 2 children, 29% for 3 children, 31% for 4 children, and 35% or more for 5 children or more. Now this is provided all 5 children are yours. So I don't know if you got 1 here, 2 there, 3 there. That's a whole nother.
You know what happens?
That's a whole nother percent.
If you're
No,
married,
it's-
it don't even matter if the kid is yours. If you were married to her and get a divorce, all those kids
If you were
are
taking
yours.
care of that child,
I mean,
But
listen, man, we're men, dog. There's different sets of rules. That's why you got to be very careful.
Put a condom on.
Who you get pregnant out here.
Nah, be celibate, man.
let me ask you a question though. Here's a quick question. Now I don't know. Maybe somebody out there knows, and maybe they could tell us. If you have multiple children, if you've got to pay 17%, does that reset at each child?
I believe
No.
so.
Because
Not-
you got
not-
to run out of money. There's not that much percentage of your
Yeah,
check.
that's why
what I'm
you
saying?
got to be
So-
It's
that's why you got to be
17
the
for one.
first child.
So
right.
then the
but
next
but what
child-
I'm saying is, so if you've got a baby with
2 women.
with
no.
two women,
Oh, okay.
So-
no, the
so
next child,
the
the
first
next
one
child
you
is
pay-
24%.
No, the next
No.
child is
does it? What I'm saying is, does it like? Okay, do you have to? Are they going to say, okay, you're going to pay 17% for this child and then 17% for this child,
No.
or does it become 25% for the
For the
2
second
children?
child.
Then no. It's 25% would be for both
For 2 kids,
For 2
yeah.
kids. So what I'm saying is, does the state take 25% of your check and then disperse it
Yeah.
amongst the 2 kids?
Yeah. I
That's
don't
a
know.
good question.
I don't know the percentage, but that's how they do it.
You should
I don't know
ask.
who gets what.
Should
Right.
ask the viewers for that answer to that
Yeah, if
question.
anybody got the answers to that, please put it in the comments. We need that. We need that info.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you have 1 kid
If you have 1 kid,
with
okay,
woman A and
Right.
woman B, how do they divide that percentage?
right.
It can't be 17
So
and 17.
especially
you're
say
saying?
for instance,
No.
you're already say you got a little Bobby over here, right? You already paying 17% for him,
And CJ.
right? Easy now. So you're already paying 17%. Now little Bobby or little OJ is say he's 7 years old now, right? And you've been paying child support 17% for 7 years, and now you go over here with Baquasia and you have another child.
man.
So now you got 03, right?
Terrible name.
I know, right?
I hope there's no one.
Yeah, I
behind
just listen.
I tried to make sure. So now he's 7 years old. So now does her child support decrease?
Yeah,
When you have
I
the
think
second
so.
child?
I think It's not.
Or
seven-
the second
it-
child
it's
gets
not,
less.
It's not 17% per child. It goes according to a number of children. Think about it, because this is coming out your check, right?
Right.
So it can't be 17% per child.
Right.
It
So
goes
the-
down.
Because 2 children, that's 34%.
Yeah, it goes down for that 3rd child.
So the
So-
And that
woman.
5th child, that 4th child.
So if you're the man,
Mm.
you better off being the second baby father, right?
Yeah, you better off.
Because the first one's getting 17 off the top.
Well, that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. If the first one is getting 17%, right, and then the second, then you have a second child. Now the court says we're going to take 25% of your pay for your 2 children. So now this woman over here that was getting 17% for 7 years, all of a sudden her pay just went down to 12%,
Yeah.
12.5%,
Because you got a second
because
child
you have
somewhere.
a second child.
Damn. I need the answers for that
Yeah.
question. Need the real answers.
Who
All
paying
you,
child support for two baby mothers?
all the men that are paying child support and women that
Yeah.
are receiving them, please inbox us and let us know how this all works.
Yo,
And all those young men out
Don't-
there who are not having children, that are about to have children,
I wanna
put a condom on.
Yes, Rudy.
I want to ask a question too for women. Please put in the comments for women that are paying child support. Is the system more lenient towards you if you have to pay child support to a man?
You know, I used to think that. I
because-
used to think that only because
Find
I never
out
heard
hard-
any cases of a women.
Paying
Paying.
child support. That's what I'm
But
saying.
I did come across some friend of mine that are the females that are paying, and the system it doesn't care whether you male or female, because
Maybe the
at the
judge
end of
does.
the day they are making money off of your child support.
Right.
So they don't care if it's male or female. They don't even care. Matter of fact, there's somewhere in the contract where you sign where they're actually telling you that they're not even really caring about whether or not your child received the support or not. their whole purpose is to make money off of your money. You know, and it's a business.
Hold on. How are they making money though? So if they're taking
It's in the
17% of your money,
They're investing your money.
Right.
They invest in your money.
so but all right, so they're taking 17%. So say 17% of my money. Say I make $100,000 a year, right? They're taking 17% if of that yearly or monthly, whatever.
Okay.
So whatever number that comes out to, if it's say it's $1,000 a week, I bring home, right? And they're taking $170 of that, right? Does that money go directly to the woman, or does it go to the court and then
Goes to the system.
goes to the
Redistributed?
system?
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying that child support is like a hedge fund,
Yeah.
where they're taking all the money
From
everybody and it's getting invested.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they're getting the
So if you
they're getting the
notice-
interest on it.
If you notice,
What do
well,
they
you
put it in
wouldn't know because
T-bills?
you're not paying. But when you pay, right, the money that you get, it doesn't go direct. As soon as you get paid, it doesn't go directly to them the same day you get paid. They get the money like a week or two later. So they take it from you 1 week, got somewhere between 7 and 14 days before she gets the money, and then that's when they give her the money. So they could take that money, they could take that same $1,000, invest
That's
it, make $5,000, then give her the $1,000 and pocket the $4,000.
Wow.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? It's a business.
We're gonna have to
it's a
I'm gonna have
business,
to do
Ken.
some research on,
You know,
on
so
that.
But
it's a business.
Essentially, I believe women deserve that anyway. Or whoever,
There's
single
fathers. There's
parents
single
deserve
fathers
it.
out there, man.
Because the struggle is like you said, men were getting away with a lot of just leaving women,
Yeah.
2-3 kids.
Yeah, that's cowardly.
Shout out
No
to my
job.
father, Daniel Richardson. Had 8 kids, never went out for a pack of cigarettes. Came home every night. Love
Made you
Daddy.
go get it, right?
Yes.
Sent one of his 8 kids to get it, yeah?
Yeah, that's cool, man. But Rudy,
Yeah.
wear a condom, young man, and you won't
Well,
have this
I'm
problem.
too old for condoms. Now
Not you. Not you. I mean,
You got a vasectomy?
I'm just saying.
hold on.
But see some crazy
Yeah,
kid.
I don't even know what that means, but I'll say it for you. Young men, if you don't want to have kids and pay child support and you're not interested in being a dad, please
Yes.
Bug it.
take safety precautions.
Wrap
my
it
brother.
up.
Bug it.
All right, man. This is very interesting, yo.
Yeah.
Any comments in there?
Nah, no comments.
There must be all women in there, brother.
Yeah.
All right. This is cool. This is something I think we could talk about some more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Absolutely.
Especially the
Yeah.
law part. Request some females to come and give their take.
Yeah,
Invite.
listen.
Yes,
We're
invite
gonna
your women
invite you.
here.
Put your info in the comments.
Give their take on how this child support system, how they feel about it. If they like it, don't like it, what's good about it, what's bad about it.
The benefits.
All right, man. Sportsmanlike kind of podcast. We out, kid. Peace.
Peace.
Sportsmanlike conduct.